The Nobel Prize in Physics of 2022 was given to three physicists that proved Einstein wrong, and nobody's talking about it. They came to the conclusion that the universe is not locally real. So to understand what it means for our universe to exist non-locally, we must first understand what it means for something to exist locally. So take this apple for example. If this apple existed locally, it would exist here in this location physically, whether it's being observed or not. A more scientific explanation of locality would be that the particles of this apple, for example, have inherent properties, inherent characteristics to them, whether they're being observed or not. And this is exactly what Einstein proposed, which makes sense. Here's another great example of this. Einstein thought that if I dropped a coin behind a couch, it would land face up or face down, regardless of whether or not I see it. If I check and the coin is face up, then that's the way the coin has been since I dropped it. And yet, these three physicists proved that to be wrong. Things in the quantum world only take on a characteristic when it's being observed, or in other words, measured. So if the coin was the size of an atom, it would only take on a characteristic of being heads or tails once it was observed. So what's going on when it's not being observed? Well, it exists as a non-physical wave of energy potential of both heads and tails, and it only collapses into a physical particle, a physical characteristic of heads or tails once it's observed. Believe it or not, this idea has been around for a while now, but only in the realm of paper and mathematics until recently, when Alan Aspect, John Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger finally developed ways to test this in real life. The details of their test, however, are beyond the scope of this TikTok, so if you're interested in learning more, check out PBS Spacetime's video on it, Why Did Quantum Entanglement Win the Nobel Prize in Physics? So back to the fact that the universe does not locally exist. For those of you asking, okay, so what? Why does this affect me? Here's a quote that will get you to understand the importance of this for each and every one of us. The very act of observation is an act of creation. What's so exciting about this is that within the next decade in the world of science, we're going to experience the epitome of mind over matter, where no longer is physical reality causing the mind, but rather our mind is what's creating physical reality.